want to get you caught up on everything that has happened in the last 24 hours. It's a lot. The main thing to know is that the ball is back in Republican Senator Chuck Grassley's court after the Judiciary Committee chairman set a 10 a.m. deadline for Christine Ford to let him know her intentions. Her attorneys responded with a list of conditions they want met. First thing they're saying, Ford will not be showing up at the Monday hearing. The earliest Dr. Ford's attorneys say she could show up would be Thursday. That appears to be one piece of this that is not negotiable. But there's a whole lot more. In an hour-long conversation with the Judiciary Committee staff, Ford's attorneys asked that the committee first work them through to ensure that Dr. Ford's safety will be guaranteed before she agrees to testify. They want Judge Kavanaugh to testify first and Ford second, but they do not want the two of them to be in the same room at the same time. Her attorneys would prefer that senators do the questioning, not outside counsel, as some Republicans would prefer. They want her to have unlimited time for an opening statement and say that it can be a public hearing, but they only want a limited number of cameras. And finally, Ford's attorney wants the committee to subpoena Mark Judge. You remember this guy, the other student Ford alleges was in the room when she says Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her back in the 80s. However, NBC reports that it is unlikely Republicans would allow one witness to dictate the subpoena of another witness. Remember, Mark Judge told the committee that he has no memory of the incident, yet he says he doesn't want to testify. Wonder why that is. Interesting to note that Ford's attorneys did not mention an FBI investigation as one of their conditions. So now we wait for Senator Grassley to consult with his colleagues in the committee and let us know what happens next. For now, the Monday hearing remains on the committee schedule, and Judge Kavanaugh says he has every intention of showing up. In a letter to the chairman early Thursday, he wrote, quote, "Thank you for the invitation to appear before the Senate Committee on the Judiciary on Monday, September 24th. I will be there. I look forward to the opportunity to testify before the committee. I want a hearing as soon as possible so that I can clear my name. Since the moment I first heard this allegation, I have categorically and unequivocally denied it. I remain committed to defending my integrity." But while Kavanaugh has spent most of the week at the White House working on his testimony, Politico reports that Ford has not been actively preparing to testify herself. Her attorneys have indicated that she hasn't really had the time.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.